Alright, so today we're going to be talking about how to stay consistent during all-time highs. We've got a guest here, Daniel, right? Hello, Daniel. Introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Daniel. I just joined this yesterday and I already had some pretty good trades today just by what he's provided.
Yep. So Daniel here has got me a lot of questions I'm going to be answering on the server call right here. I'll be explaining how you guys can be trading these all-time highs and how to really stay consistent. Right now, Daniel, shoot your first question. Go ahead.
What do you mainly look for, as in like when you're determining a bias with the TPOs?
All right. That's a very good question. Now, when I wake up, right, or whenever I open up my charts, right, the first thing I establish is the auction, right? I identify where we are most likely to go, going to go to, and so I this is going to be the latest, not the latest, the previous contract, right? So I can like show you guys more data and whatnot, right? I establish AMT, right? I see where balance is. I see where we are most likely going to reject right now. Right here, we opened, right? This is Friday. We opened and we shoot down right after we had this extraordinary day right here with balance at the end. We shoot down. Where do we shoot down, right? To balance, right? We end up rejecting the balance, and I can see that we began to long, right? And chances are that day we are going to be continuing that long. Now, if you guys saw the trade I posted earlier today, right? I'm gonna go find it right now. I think it's this one. Yep. Right here, right? I took this long right here, and this long is exactly right here, right? If we go here, this is the long that I took. I'm pretty sure it's right here. And if you have a look at this screenshot right here, I've got a volume profile, right? This is daily VP, and what I've got marked here is the 40% of the current day VP right now. This shows me the tightest auction, right? Where we are auctioning for the day, and it just tightens the zone, right? I really like when I use that, right? Now, what I was looking at is since we are imbalancing for the day, I wanted to look for a possible retest or, where we are balancing and like testing the edges, fading the edges, right, of the balance and then shoot up again, right? And that's exactly what I done. I identified that we are auctioning and I don't take the trades off these trend lines, but what I did is take the trade off the edge right here, right? So what I'm trying to say is, right, you need to identify whether if we are imbalancing for the day or going to be auctioning. AMT is incredibly important right now. What I'm going to be showing you guys later on the video is explaining how to really look at the markets during all-time highs, right? Later on the video, but I hope what I just told you right now, Daniel, if that helped, let me know right now.
Yeah, that helped.
Yep. Can we hear another one of your questions? Yes, 40%.
Yes, and then also when you're marking out your volume profile, like on the 30 minute for the from the year, are you just marking out every single zone that you see, or are you actually looking to see if price has gotten reactions off of the zones, and then you're marking out those, not every single one?
Yeah, so when I first started trading, right, I marked out every single zone, right? If you guys look into my earlier VP videos, you could see that I had every single VP level marked out. You can do that, that's perfectly fine, right? But because I have that experience now, I do not need to do that, right? I can log on to the charts and I can exactly see where I can, I want to trade, right? So I log on the charts, I look at my VP first things first, I identify, the auction, and from there I move, right? That's what I do. Yeah, let me know if that answers
Yeah,
your
and then
question.
also touching back to the AMT, so pretty much what you'll do is you'll look at it and then you'll see if we are just if we are in our value, our fair value, and then if we are, you'll be looking to find trades that we're getting out of the value, or if we're outside of value to come back into it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly that,
Okay.
bro. Yeah, now I'm going to be yapping a bit, but I'm going to be explaining this trade right here, right? It's very important that you guys listen and understand my thought process, right? Now, as we know, Trump mentioned that we are going to be maintaining all-time highs, right? That is important to remember that and understand that, right? Now, auctioning at all-time highs for like the past 3, 4 months now, and at the start people did not believe that we're going to be maintaining all-time highs, we're going to be shorting, and a lot of people lost a lot of money during that process, right? Now, what I'm trying to say is right now, right, is we are heavily imbalancing with no sign of dropping, right? We can clearly see that imbalance, retest into balance, right here, retest, imbalance again, right? Balance, creating some form of balance, imbalance again, right here. We retest into previous balance and we imbalance again. Please mute your mic, and then and so on, right? And now another thing that I want you guys to look at, right, is we are not making lower lows. That's incredibly important to know, right? We are not making lower lows, right? Now, what I do is, right, one form of trading that I really do like is retest. I love taking retest trades right now. There's two forms of retest I like to take, right? Is intraday retest and like weekly retest, right? Now this is an amazing trade, right? Clearly imbalancing, making higher highs, right? Right here. I took this long right here, right? We are making higher highs and I knew that this is going to be happening again, right? So we imbalance, retest again into former balance, we imbalance again, and guess what we do? We retest former balance, right here. The VP has changed, but there was a huge lump right here, right, for previous week, because I've got a 90-day VP and a weekly VP. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, right, retest right here. I love taking these retest entries on a larger base scale, right? You can catch these extraordinary longs, right, or shorts, right? Doesn't really matter. But what I'm trying to say is retests are important to take, right? Look at the bigger picture, right? Having the bigger picture inside your vision right here is incredibly important, right? We are auctioning, fading the balance edges, right? You can take these lovely fades right here. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I hope that was not too much yap, or if I was talking too fast, let me know right now if that was good, if that helped. Do you trade market profile or footprint? I trade market profile. I do not touch footprint. Footprint is not for me. That was good. Thank you. Thank you. Understood. Daniel, did that help?
Yes, that did. And then
Perfect.
on the what's it called? Will you use when you're using the volume profile, if or actually on the TPO, you don't look at the volume profile from the TPO, right? You just have that on your entry chart
Yeah, nah, I don't really look at
mixed.
the VP on my TPO. It's purely cosmetic, honestly. Of course, I glance here and there, I compare the volume profile with the TPO to just visually see where if there was volume during where time was mostly transacted, auctioned. But that's really it, man. That's really it. But you can do it's definitely good, man. You can like, pair them two together.
And then also on the DOM, when you're looking for absorption, is it mainly when you see either sell a lot of sellers stepping in, but price isn't really going down? It's kind of actually when they come in, price is upticking, it keeps on upticking, and then if that is correct, when do you find the time to actually enter the trade?
All right, this is a very good question, right? Now, first things first, I'm going to tell you guys is that I do not use absorption, right? I don't use anything specific on the DOM, right? I simply look at the DOM and I trade. I don't use nothing specific, right? Now, absorption, right? What I always tell you guys is absorption is literally a sponge, right? It's a battle between water and a sponge, right? For example, let's say buyers is the water, sellers is the sponge, right? You might be thinking it's vice versa, but it's not, right? So look, let's say right this level right here, right? Right here. That's it, the exact level I got. High volume node, extreme, bang, right? Okay, whatever. We tap it, right? Sellers are shooting down, blah blah blah, whatever, right? And the sponge, the level is the sponge, okay? Now buyers are starting to hit the level, they're hitting, and sellers they are simply stacking inside. It's like a sponge, right? They're absorbing the buyers, they're absorbing, right? Until the buyers fully flush them out, right? They gain control inside this level, they are battling, and they simply start, imbalancing. So you really need to look at it as a sponge, right? You need to identify the battle, right? That absorption is literally a battle between sellers and buyers, right? There is no, I forgot what you said, but yeah. So let's say sellers right here, right? Let me think of a scenario real quick. Let me think of one. Mm, okay, sellers are shooting down. There are no buyers, right, on the ladder. There are no buyers. Let's say like there's 20, like low two-figure buyers, right, or sellers. There's three figures, high two figures, right? They're shooting down. Bang. They tap the level. They stagnate. They stop, right? They stop. That's a very good sign that they stopped at a level, right? That's almost confirming right now. It's very important that you watch them at the level, right? Right here. Let's say our level's right here. At 709, okay? Now we slam into the level, bang, 102 sellers, right? Or down we go, 52 sellers, right? We are battling buyers from us being completely thin, low two figures, right? Completely thin buying. We suddenly at the level, we start stacking, right? Bang, buyers start flowing in, right? We go 77, for example, right? Starting to, upgrade, we go high two figures, right? From low two figures to high two figures, right? Now we are battling, right? We are battling the sellers at the level, okay? Now suddenly we are even, we're fighting, we're fighting, right? And slowly you can literally see live that we are completely starting to flush out the sellers, right? They're getting exhausted, okay? We are fighting them, right? And then suddenly you can literally visually see when buys take control, and that's exactly when you can buy. And then we shoot. I hope that helped. Let me hear some comments.
Yeah.
Let me see some comments if that helped. How do you use the tape? I'll explain that in a second. Give me some comments, guys. Did that help? Please tell me if that helped. I'll try dumb it down even more if I can. Fucking hell, there's a lot of people. Can everyone see the screen? Yes, I hope. Yes, very simple. No, no. I am recording. Max people. Max people watching. Oh, I might have to go to the next stage. No, no, no. Okay, we got two no's. Understood. Alright, car jog and Stilfy, can you explain what you didn't understand? And Daniel, do you have any more questions or anything that you want to say to that?
Not much. So pretty much all you do is you want to see sellers are obviously in control, and then it just kind of gets to a spot where it just stops, and then it starts to not necessarily consolidate on the candles, but you can kind of see that they're fighting, and then you want to wait for them to get even, and then you want to wait for the you could say that big spike in the buyers. Even if you get filled a little higher, you'll have a better chance of the trade playing out if you wait for that.
Mhm. Now, there are many ways that you can view the DOM, right? You don't have to, like the way I explained it, you don't have to look at it like that. There's plenty, the DOM is very personal, man. It's completely relevant to you,
Mm.
right? There is no specific way to exactly trade it. Of course, there is, the foundations, the correct foundations and whatnot, right? But what I'm trying to say is the DOM is personal. It's how you view the DOM, right? You control the story pretty much. What I'm trying to say. And if let's say you do miss the actual absorption, the retest, the exact thing that I was talking about about a few minutes ago, retest, right? Retests are
Mm.
extraordinary. I love retests, right? You can catch these retests very easily, man. Especially when you see buyers are in control, man. If you miss the original,
Yeah.
entry, you can take the retest.
And the retest, would the retest be like right there, pretty much where the biggest,
Right.
so like for the biggest ask is, for example, if you're taking that long right there, you want to enter a market just when it comes back down close, or like where you had that 174, the max ask or the max buyers, would you set a limit there?
Right, I don't do limits. I market order. I mean, I can't really exactly tell you when I enter. It's different every single time. It's when I my brain understands the auction at the level, right? That's when I enter. When I understand what is happening, and I simply understand it, right? I can't really tell you
Yeah, so
exactly when I enter. If that makes
yeah,
sense.
so the retests are kind of more intuition and
No, no, no,
market
no. So the retest,
experience.
right? For example, look, we are slamming down, right, right here on the DOM. We are shooting down. right? We tap the level, we're auctioning, absorption, whatever you want to call it, right? Blah, blah, blah. We shoot up, right? We shoot up, let's say right here, and then we stagnate a bit, sell a step in, right here, retest, and we go up. That's how, it would look like. And it's important that you look at the DOM, and when buyers step in again, that's when you can, buy again or add size, for example.
Yeah, I actually saw that today on some of the trades I took. I would
Mm-hmm.
enter and then it would come up a little bit. Like for example, today I entered, it went up I think 5 points roughly, and then came back down. I got break even because I'm still obviously testing around with break even when to set. Oh, there, that'll bring up my next question. And then I saw that the buyer stepped in again right at that level, and I re-entered. So
Yeah,
that
so
explained that.
personally,
And then
yeah, go on. My bad, go on.
also primarily for your stop losses and your take profits, where do either where do you mainly place those, or how do you use the DOM to determine them?
All right, that's a very good question, right? I'd say about 30% of the time I'd run a stop loss, and then the other 80, 70% of the time I have no stop loss. And the same goes for TP, right? I don't really have TPs, I don't really have stop losses, right? Now, I'm in full control of the trade, right? I can literally see what's happening, okay? Now, if I want to take profit, right? So, for example, right here, if I can go, um, right here. So straight off the screenshot right here, I took profit. Okay. I think I show you a screenshot straight off. I don't know if I do. No, I do not. Okay. After the screenshot, I took profit, right? And let me show you right here, okay? This is where I took profit. I took a long right here. I took profit right here, okay? Now, let me explain what I would see on the DOM, right? Now, buyers are in control. Simply again, sellers step in. I can see that they're stepping in. I can see that we are reacting to the sellers, right? And that's when I take profit, right? It's purely off the DOM. I don't have, I mean, of course, you can have like set TPs, right? Now, I'll explain how you can do that as well. But personally, for me, I don't really run stop losses or TPs now. The way you can set your stop losses, right, is you can definitely place at the lows, because the logic behind it, right, if we shoot up and then we take out the low again, you are saving yourself more drawdown, right? Now you can always, with tight stop losses, right, there are negatives and positives, right? You can really, what's the word, it can really suck you in with these small stop losses, right? It can really gain control of you taking these small ones, because you know you get stopped and you instantly enter. Right now you need to have full control and like full visual understanding on the DOM to be able to really profit off of small stop losses, right? And personally, I don't like stop losses because I like to let my trades breathe more at my levels, because I understand that, my level, let's say my level is uh, 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 okay, right here. Let's say I bottom tick with a level, okay? And I entered not here, but I entered higher, okay? Now we shoot up, and on the retest, we retest the level again, okay? That we bottom ticked with. And then some of you might be thinking, oh shit, what is happening, okay? But I don't like setting stop losses, because most times, if you do, you will get stopped, okay, off these levels. And you need to understand that most of the levels that order flow traders use, it is literally SNR. They are reusable like condoms, okay? Wait, no, condoms are not reusable, but what I'm trying to say is they are reusable, okay? They are able to be used again and again and again.
So for your stop losses, you're pretty much looking to see if once it starts staticking and then you get your buyers step in, you enter, then mainly you want to to exit, you want to see, I guess you could say, the low get taken out and then the buyers start to lose control and you can see the sellers just stepped in again. They got through the level.
Yeah, because you need to understand that the DOM, these are people, these are humans taking these trades, okay? There's a story behind these numbers right here. You can understand them. You can understand what is happening between, these levels and between the ticks, man. And once you understand the story, you understand the auction, the AMT, it really does become easy, man. Okay. I'm gonna answer some comments in the chat. OP, I'm recording this, I'm recording it. Okay, what does it mean when market's dumping and there's single digits on both sides at your level? Don't really understand what you're asking me, man. There's single digits on both sides at your level. Oh, it's simply. I mean, I actually have no idea, man. I can't really answer that. What is my biggest sign of reversal? Just, either sells or buy stepping in at the level, man. That's my biggest sign. That's a good question. Yeah. It's literally the opposing gaining control over the other, man. That's my biggest sign of reversal. That's a very good question, Sophie. Very good question. Now, Steve said, I have some problems with identifying the best points for entries. Sometimes I think that should be a good level for entries and then we smash past it. How can I identify good levels for entry in TPO, right? I don't use TPO for levels, right? I use TPO for market visuals. I use it as structure. I don't use it as levels. I use it as areas of possible rejection, but most of my levels do come from VP, among other things I will not share. I'm only sharing what I'm comfortable sharing at the end of the day. Yes, align other levels like VWAP, get extremes, yeah. Just align it with other things, man. That's what you should be doing. Lovely explanations. Curious more about how you generate context. Very good question. I'd recommend looking at my Twitter. I've got amazing explanations over there, amazing context that you can definitely learn from. The order flow confirmation is the smallest aspect of trading. Can you explain more about developing trade ideas, making key points and targets, etc.? I've done this exact thing on Twitter. I don't want to really waste time on this call, but if you go on my Twitter, you can see exactly that, KD. What do you look for on the DOM to enter a trade? Because you said they don't use absorption. Yes, I explained that during the explanation. Let me know if you was not listening. How to do a market profile backtest correctly? I mean, you just go back and you backtest. There is no correct way, man. It's completely up to you what is correct. It's not up to me what is correct for you. If you understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you just go back, man, and just mark what you've been learning. That's how you backtest. Mark what you've been learning on previous days. Let me know if that helped. Can you walk through finding bias with the TPO and balances? Sure. Yes, passing recognition, Jacob. Very good. Can you show an example for the VP that fits your entry style? Just so yeah, Steve, I've made multiple videos on that. Multiple VP videos. If you go on my YouTube channel, you can see exactly that. I do recommend watching the videos and you will receive your answer. Okay, let's go back to this guy. Could you walk through finding bias with the TPO? Okay. Now, for this day right here, right? I can see that at the end of Thursday, this is Thursday, that we started building balance, right? Now we opened inside the balance, okay? And if I expand this, how do I expand? There we go. All right, I can clearly see that at the start of the day we are auctioning. By the way, this TPO expansion is a bit lagged. You can see it's a bit, lagged and different. But what I'm trying to say is, wait, let me see the question again. Yes, finding bias for me, the most important thing is AMT, man. Identifying if we are imbalancing and knowing when to fade the extremes and when we are, why we are dipping. For example, right here, I don't have it marked out, but you can visually see it's small, minor high volume node, but we got reaction right here. Okay, now I can see that we are balancing. We do react from the edge right here, but we fail to go higher or carry on balancing, and we do shoot that back down. Where do we shoot back down? Classic AMT to the next balance. We reject it. We carry on going higher. We do not make lower lows. We are imbalancing higher, making higher highs. If that helped, please let me know right now. Okay. High volume node edge is before tape, was before low volume node starts. It is make it as tight as possible, man. Okay. you can visually see, man. It's like you can of course move this box down here, but because I want to find the balance, I use the absolute edges of the whole high volume node. You can see I'll do the same here, right? I don't have any other boxes marked out, but I make it tight. That's what I do. Just make it very tight. Get the walls, the borders, right? The walls, get it tight. That's what I do. And if you look at my VP videos, you can like, see exactly that. I would recommend watching them. Which VP do you use? I use 90 days at the moment, weekly and daily VP. 90 days to see the whole all-time highs auction. I don't want to see anything below that. I want to see the whole all-time highs auction. And I use weekly VP to see, more recent data, see how we've been auctioning throughout the past 5 to 7 working days. Do I use options data? I do not use options data. Do I have a fixed pattern that you will wait to happen in the DOM when reaching a level? Yes, I do. I will not reveal it. It's completely personal. Find your own pattern. So you find balances off the TPO or VP. I find balances off of both. For example, wait, let me find a very good example. I think, okay, right here, okay. The VP doesn't really show high volume node, right? At all. It doesn't show the high volume node or the auction that we had right here, okay? Now, if we do the same thing that I do with the VPs, get it nice and tight, right? Nice and tight. You can already see that we are playing off of this area, okay? That we do not have on VP, but I'm using TPO as balance and rejection zones right here, bang and bang, right? That's what I would do if VP is not there, and most times at all-time highs it is not. Okay. What volume profiles do I use? I already answered that. Do I look at pull highs, lows, and ETH? Yes, I do. That's simply equal highs and lows. Where can you study the market profile from scratch and no idea, man. No idea. No idea where you can study the market profile. I've got no idea. I've got no idea, man. I've got no idea where you can study it. No idea. uh, do you keep in mind day types and their typical characteristics like initial balance, initiative buying, and selling? Yes, I do. Although, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not a expert at TPO. I promise you. I just got the foundations down. That's all I really care about, and that's all I really use. I don't really go too deep into TPO. I just want the structure, that's what I need. But yes, I do keep in mind the day types. It's important to know to identify these day types. So it gives you more structure in your trading for sure. That makes sense now. Thank you. And do you split TPO or I use full day? I use full day. How long have I been using order flow? Good amount of time, my friend. Good amount of time. How do you use a daily VP? Do you use it for levels? No, I do not use it for levels. How I use it is to honestly find the auction throughout the day. Now, this is end of day. Of course, I use these. Well, I suppose I don't use them for levels, but I use them as structure again, right, for the day. Okay, that's how I use it. And another way how I use it, I really like to use if I find it right here, the 40% on daily VP. I love to use it. I love it. I catch the most easiest trades off this bad boy right here, the 40% of daily VP. Daniel, have you got any more questions?
Just something about the DOM when you're trading it as well, and like let's say you want to take a short and you see a lot of buyers stepping in, but they're not really moving it, but then you sometimes you'll get those spikes and it'll come back up a little bit. Would you wait and see if sellers can try and fight it off, or would you just be getting ready to exit?
Hmm. Can you summarize what you're trying to say right now? Like, do
So like let's
elaborate a
say
bit.
you enter and then price is roughly right around your entry, and then you see if you're taking a short, for example, and then you see a lot of buyers step in, and the sellers are trying to trying to hold it, and they sort of are, but they're struggling, like prices consolidating but slowly going up. Would you be looking to try and let them fight it back, or would you just be looking to exit?
Now, that is a very good question, and the exact same thing that you're asking me happened right here, okay? Uh, can the screenshot load? What the fuck? Right, where was it? Right here, okay? You can't see it, but the candles were auctioning right here, okay? Now, imagine we had the same thing right here, okay? We are auctioning, we sellers to control, buyers take control back again, right? We're fighting against each other, but imagine this candle right here takes a high, which happened right here. We take it, um, and I'd simply wait until buyers are completely diminished, right? Now, of course, you could have taken this trade, right, and profit off of, but what I'm trying to say is I'd be more patient and really be fully convinced that the side that I'm entering with, sellers and buyers, are in complete control and they have completely flushed the opposing team. If you understand what I'm trying to say, I hope that helped. Let me know if I'm yapping too much, man. I'm really trying to dumb it down, my whole thought process.
You know, yeah, that explains it.
Alright,
So you
bet.
just it's you it's more so like watching the dom, some of those things like that, for example, by watching it and understanding how the dom usually reacts, it is the easier way to understand it rather than just looking at it and trying to guess. Mainly the best thing to do is just get more screen time.
Yes, for sure, man. For sure. Well said. That's exactly what we need to do. Now, which would I recommend for finding levels, reversals between TPO and VP? If you look at the start here channel, I say it's completely personal preference, right? Now, the people that have been following me for a while know that I've not been using TPO at all, but I've always said that TPO is a extraordinary tool for intraday and bigger trade, like swing traders to use, right? TPO is amazing, right? But at the time, I was not using TPO, right? What I'm trying to say is it's completely personal preference, right? It's not up to me to recommend what will work for you, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Chat, when he says daily VP, is it like the prior days or static VP or the developing days VP? What do you think daily VP means? Huh? What do you think that means? Do you think it is multiple days? Do you think it means prior days, or do you think it's current day VP? The answer is current day VP, my friend. You're gonna gatekeep that. Of course, I don't share my templates, my friend. I do not share my templates. You on the free version? Yeah. Yep. Well, okay. Yes, I'm an intraday trader. Are you talking about me? Yeah, sure, man. Daniel, any more questions? Or anyone else? I mean, VP is great for everything, man. It's great for swing trading and it's great for intraday trading. Mm,
So like one more thing on the TPO, like for example today, I know I already asked this, but just to confirm, like if you go to it, you can see that our fair value was from pretty much 690 to 706. You would be looking to take trades off of it if it aligns with, or yours is different than mine. I think you have your set different, but for example, if price goes, it like wicks out of fair value and it aligns with a volume level, would you be looking to take that? Like that wick down right there, right at, yeah, right there.
mhm. I mean, this week down, if you remember when I was talking about remember the short I was showing you, like the when I was explaining the DOM. and when bias to control, yes, I would take that, trade because I explained the whole thought process behind it, and we thought our value with no sign of continuation, right? Um, no lack of seller's initiative, following through by accepting, and I would take that trade, of course. If that's what
And then yeah, and then also when you're looking for fair value, will you look at will you just pretty much look at yesterday, or will you also look at the previous days that align with it?
I mean, I look at current day, previous week, previous month. I look at everything, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I look at absolutely everything.
And then when you're targeting, would you look to target, for example, obviously you'd watch the DOM, but like if you wanted to set limits, would do you think highs and lows would be good, or do you think they wouldn't be too good?
My brain's a bit fried. Can you repeat?
If when you enter trades and let's say you took that short or that long right at that when we went down like that, would you be wanting to hold because obviously you'd be watching the dom and everything, but would you be wanting to hold till highs for longs and shorts and for shorts lows sometimes?
I mean, yes, like in a way, but I'm more looking for reactions off of like balances, okay? That's what I would be looking, right? So let's say we don't see anything that happened after, right? We only have previous day, okay? And let's say we took a trade right here and we enter previous day value, okay? Now I'd watch the DOM and I'd see if we are accepting inside, if we are rejecting, or if we're going to follow through, right? So what I'm trying to say is when I'm trading and I want to, hold longer or catch bigger trades, my eyes are completely on the DOM and I'm analyzing how the opposing and my team, right? When I see team, I'm talking about, sellers and buyers, right? And I'm seeing how the opposing and my current team is reacting off of, each high volume or balance, low volume or blah blah blah. I'm just constantly watching the DOM pretty much.
And then when you obviously when you get your exit signal off the dom, but you want to hold it higher, like if you were to enter and then there's a high volume node that aligns, but it's so it's for your TP, or you want to hold to the high, for example, and there's a volume node that's before it, and then we start to get rejection at it off the dom, would you want to fully exit there, or would you take a partial there, go break even, and try and hold till the high?
That's a good question, right? I'd most likely take TP because like I don't really like suffering through auctions, right? Because I mean it completely depends if I want really want to sit through it right now. How can I explain this? It completely, honestly, man, it completely revolves around you, man, and how you view the market, man. Like, I'm trying to think
Just
of.
depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, literally, man. This is honestly, look, I can exactly look. For example, let's say we enter here. These are the highs that you're talking about, and this is the high volume node that we rejected. Let me get a box for you guys, right? Good explanation, right? And we boom, we tap it and we reject. Okay, now I'd most likely, honestly, man, I'd most likely take TP right here, right? If I did take longs right here, okay? And if you look right here, we like at the previous price action, like I'm gonna be what's the word? Uh Not necessarily hypocrite, but against the idea right now, right? Let's say I held through, right? And I held for longer, okay? If I look at previous price and we are auctioning, okay? We are auctioning. And then I decide to hold longer and endure the, loss of profits, and I'd like to see how we react off of the current auction, okay? And then at certain, like times like 7 a.m., 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, and blah, like 30-minute intervals, like, the TPOs, 30-minute intervals. I like to, what's the word? Just navigate around those times, right? And like see if volume, how the the teams are reacting. If you understand what I'm trying to say. How can I explain this simpler? I've got no idea how to explain it more simple, man. But do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, do you get my
Yeah,
point?
you just pretty much look and see. You pretty much look at the TPO in the lower time frame, not time
Yeah.
frame, but lower sessions. Look at it, see if we're in value
Yeah,
or
because
if we're not.
context
See
matters,
what you're
man. Like
looking to
you,
chase. Yeah.
yeah, because context matters. You gotta pair everything together. Like AMT, VP, TPO, VWAP, whatever, right? Whatever you're using, you need to pair them, and you wanna be stacking your probabilities, right? Right. For example, look, VP level here, underneath VWAP, right? I don't know. TPO balance or TPO POC, I don't know, whatever you guys are using, right? You want to be stacking these ideas, right? Stacking these confluences to increase the probabilities of your trades and your profits. Okay.
And then I had one more question, and that is, how do you if you do trail your stop loss, how do you trail it?
Hmm. If you want me to be honest, I don't really trail my stop losses. And that is, it's a personal preference, you know. How can I explain this to you? Okay. So let's say we buy here again to back to the explanation. Okay, let's say we buy and we establish that we are strong buying. Okay, and let's say I entered with no SL and we have established strong buying. I'll then, for example, place a stop loss. Okay, to protect my entry, for example. Okay, or my potential drawdown. Right, I place it once we have completely established buying. So in that case, honestly, I'm lying to you guys, and I wouldn't even do that. How can I explain this to you? How can you trail? I'm trying to put myself in the perspective of a person that would trail, because I personally don't do that. I don't trail. I don't really use stop losses, as I said.
You don't trail, then you don't trail.
Like I don't
But
trail. Like, yeah, I
and
can't
then
really explain. I can't
also,
really put
would
myself in that
you
perspective.
be looking? Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I'm finished. I'm finished. Go ahead.
So, would you be looking at the? Do you use delta at all?
Nah, it's purely cosmetic, man. I mean, I glance at it, I look at it, but like delta is like not a major thing. I'd like say it's 5% of my trading. Like delta is purely cosmetic for me. I don't look at delta.
For beginners that are learning how to use the DOM and everything, do you think that the retests would be easier for people to learn
For sure,
than trying
100%,
to
100%.
catch that?
Yeah,
And
100%.
then why I've seen that you use the volume. I think it's time frame. How come you use that rather than just a normal chart?
Huh? What are you saying? What do you mean?
Like
Oh,
if you
oh,
come up
oh,
to
oh,
the
oh, oh, oh.
yeah.
I mean, what you guys see here, I don't care about the candles, man. It's purely cosmetic, other than one thing, right? Like the one plus that using these, like if I go to favorites, right, I use like volume, ticks and whatnot, blah blah blah. It's such to see deeper into the charts, because if you move to the, I don't really want to click off whatever. Let's say go 1 minute, right? You see less, okay? You simply see less. But if I go on to like 500 volume, right, I can see more. I can see the reactions off of certain levels and how the candles, like visualize the price, and I just see the reactions. But that's purely it, man. That's all I use it for, man. Really, man. But I can trade without this chart, man. I have this chart to purely show my executions, if I'm being honest, man. Like I don't even look at the chart like that, man. It's purely the
No.
yeah.
And then do you have you used the bid volume and ask volume? If and then if you have, do you recommend it?
I do not use it, but that does not mean that you can't. Like you can use whatever you want, man. Like there's plenty of things that you can add, right? It's whatever works for you, man. I personally like it to keep it simple, only use volume, and that's it.
Well, I can't really think of much else, to be
Okay,
honest.
I'm gonna look at these comments. Do you use composite a lot? No. Uh, did you get an answer to this? Yes, he has. Chris says, I have a question on the VP. I know you say you take trades from the mainly from the high volume nodes, but at least that was in your videos. I watched Trade Pro Academy's explanation of the VP, and the way he explained it was you want to look at the exit points to exit trades. Since we're auction balance and some more questions, why do you get trades? You know, how I view the market is completely personal, right? Like the way I trade may not work for someone else, man. Like for example, Trade Pro Academy is opposing me, right? He's saying to not trade these areas, right? But like he trades the way he trades, right? I trade the way I trade, man. There's like not much more to it, man. It's like personal preference. Like that's what I like to use. That's what I make money from. That's what works for me, man. 40% of the developing is something that he likes to look for when the day is forming. Uh, Fair value gap trader. Okay, all right. How would you get VP levels for ESC by looking at ESU? No, you just honestly, man. Since it's a new contract, you would let it, the volume develop, right? You can't really. I mean, you can use a previous contract. I mean, I can see it working out like right now. Um, there's volume on the previous contract that you would not see on the current, and you can see that the price is reacting. Like for example, right here, perfect example. This short, you would not see this happening oh, on this chart right here. This short off the volume alone. I mean, like this volume right here was not here when the day started, right? So you would have not caught this trade right here at all. There was like no volume whatsoever right here, practically nothing. What I'm trying to say is you can try using previous contracts, see how that works for you, and if you're catching trades. What are the best levels you use on the VP, like for reversal? Also, when I was studying AMT, one of the best indicators that show where the market is going to shift is creating a balance above or below that rejection. My best levels, I've explained this multiple times, is the edges of high volume nodes. I
Oh,
mean,
on that, do you think for beginners it would be best to mark it out as a zone, not necessarily the level, so just for like I guess so that people can watch or for me to watch what happens when we enter that zone, and then obviously the edges of the boxes are the extremes.
yeah, you can do, honestly. You can do. Mm, if you're looking to re-enter a trade after a... Why is your name purple? Oh, you're server abuse, thank you. If you're looking to re-enter a trade after a stop, would you do it right away or wait for price action to develop more? That's a very good question, but again, like it's personal preference, right? You should trade how it works for you, right? Because look, let me give you a scenario, right? Let's say I did, for example, re-enter a trade straight after I hit a stop loss, right? And for me it works, let's say, right? I end up, that's aggressive trading, right? So I used to do that a lot when I used to use stop losses. I get stopped and I enter again and I enter again and I enter again, right? And that's how I would accumulate a lot of losses, a lot of entries before I'd catch the trade. And that only works when you know it is probable to do so, right? Now, for another person, let's say for you, right, you try to do the same thing because let's say I have more experience doing so, it's my trading style, right? And then you try doing, you tried replicating that, it would not work for you because you're not used to that. So, once again, it's personal preference, find out what works for you. If that works for you, then, go ahead and do it. What order flow lab study do you have? I don't use order flow labs. Would you recommend using the previous AVP for levels? Again, personal preference, man. Use whatever you want. Like, whatever makes you money, man. Like, I can't tell you what to use, because, like, what may work for me may not work for you at the end of the day, Like, you are your own person. Like, again, like, you guys, I'm giving you these explanations, right? I'm trying to make it as non biased as possible so that this advice, this information can actually be used, right? But at the end of the day, man, you are your own person, you are your own human, and you should be, you should have your own thought process, right? You should have your own perspective on how you view the markets, and you should listen to yourself, man. You should, just because I'm in a trade against you, that does not mean that you're going to lose, right? Because I've got my own analysis, right? I've got my own thought process. You should always listen to yourself, man. Never let another person's thought process or perspective to overthrow your own one. Always, always follow yourself, man. Always. Ah. Question: will I need to learn TPO to understand VP? No, you do not. No, you do not. It's just auction market theory. One organizes data with time spent, and yeah. Nice, German. So only the edges of high volume nodes. I mean, again, man, like you can use whatever works for you, man. I use oftentimes the edges, but again, like I've got my own discretionary way of trading VP. Again, like I've got my whole high volume node, I've got my edges, but let's say we dive through, we cut through, we don't really react from it, right? We sellers still gain control, and we tap the mountain peak within the high volume node, and that's where we react from. Okay. Um, Market orders. Yes, it does not let you see the market orders with free trial on motive wave. High volume node for rejection is not the area price, is more like, again, like it's like this is how I trade, okay? Now, just because there's a high volume node edge does not mean it's going to reject. It does not mean that I'm always looking for price to, is that's gonna, reject from it. Like I'm aware that if we dive down into these high volume nodes, that we are not, we're not always going to reject. We might just accept inside of it. And again, that's when my DOM experience come and my overall market experience comes in, and I identify if we are auctioning or if we are going to be auctioning inside this high volume nodes, right? So look, for example, again, we tap it. Did we short off it? No, we did not. We accepted inside of it. Perfect example to your question. How many reversals would you say are catchable? I mean, how many are clear and good? I don't know what you're asking. How many reversals would you say are catchable? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. How many reversals are catchable? Yeah, you're welcome, Bob. My current strat is deviation plus order block, but I want to find where price is dying so I can use match with my deviation. People are saying VP will accompany my needs. Is that so? I'm just trying to find where price is dying and the buyers or sellers are now speaking. I mean, one person can say VP, one person can say TPO. I'd say, depth of market. I don't know, man. Like, see what works for you. Again, like it does not hurt to learn the things in the survey. It won't do you any harm. If anything, it will do you positive. 1 second. Happy says, would you be willing to record a few real-time trades entries? Yes, I would, for sure. It's just that whenever I trade, I'm not really thinking about recording my trade. I'm like, I'm focused. I'm looking at the DOM, and oftentimes I do forget to record. But of course, I would definitely try to record my real-time trades. And I do want to do that for sure. Based on the DOM with explanations of what you see happening in the time, just sort of give us an idea of how you look at it. That will also be another good YouTube video for a channel. I think that'll help a lot of people for sure. Yes, I'll try to do that, for sure. I'll try to do that. What is the way to filter out losses, like in catching good trades and having a positive profit factor? But would like to filter out losses. Journaling, I guess. That's how you can filter out losses. And if you don't want to journal, understand. You need to really sit down with yourself and understand why and where you're winning and losing, right? Really sit down and give it thought. And that's how you can filter out, using your thought process on filtering out these losses. Um, Syrah says, can you explain any reversal signs you see on the DOM and explain it when you're in trade? I'll give you the most simple and easiest to understand scenario. The opposing team that no, the team that you wanna enter with is gaining control over the other. So let's say this exact explanation right here, right? Let's say my team is buyers, right? I'm on buying team. Team blue, right? We're diving down, right? Hard selling, low buying, right? Buyers are thinned out. we tap the level, right? Sellers are staggering, buyers from being thin, they enter, right? And that my team is just gaining control over the situation. The situation is the level, and the situation is the auction on the level, and that's really it, man. I just want to see my team gaining control over the other, if that makes sense. I got you, bro. Thank you. No worries, Dexter. It's tonight. Yep, no worries, Ant. Hope it helped. Fair enough, brother. Yep, no worries, happy. Thanks for the scam link. This Dexter. Oh, I like this. Fool only me. Alright, I think that's it, right? No more questions. Do I have any recordings of like a daily? I mean, yeah, man. Like, hop on my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, I did want to give you guys an explanation. I'll try to make it as quick as possible and as simple. I don't really want to spend too much time on it. But how to be consistent during all-time highs is having a good AMT understanding, right? Like this is a perfect example, right? Of course, we have our moments where we are balancing, but if you look at the bigger picture, we are clearly imbalancing, making the higher highs, not lower lows, right? And you want to be going with the trend, right? You wouldn't want to necessarily be taking these shorts when we are clearly imbalancing, right? So let's say for the week right here, let's say, this is a week, you want to be on buying team, okay? And stick with mostly buying. So let's say a 20 selling and 80 buying, right? So 80% of the time you're buying, 20% of the time you're selling inside the imbalance situation. And then identifying when we are imbalance is also important, right? Because AMT, like if you understand AMT, that's like probably like the best thing you can possibly do for your trading, okay? Now, we have been imbalancing for the whole week. Previously, we know what I showed you. On Thursday, we go up, we create a balance, and then you simply play off of AMT, man. Like it's that simple, right? I use TPO for my most of my structure. TPO has helped me a lot, gain that structure for my market analysis. Okay, because when I was using VP alone, I felt that I lacked structure in my trading, and then TPA has given me that because I can visually see what is happening. I hope that was not a yap. I hope you guys understand that and do your regular stuff. What? Do you have any recordings of like your daily like when you wake up and do regular stuff? No. Oh, like a vlog? No, I didn't. But I don't. I should probably do that, man. Would you guys be interested in that?
Yeah, if you did like one day where you explain what you look for, pretty much what your mind's thinking throughout the day. Like one day you don't trade, or like it's a news day, for example, that you just want to mess around.
Hmm. Okay. Maybe I should do like a day in a life vlog. I don't really, I never journaled, man. Context, if you want me to be honest, man, I recommend everyone to journal, but I'm a hypocrite. I never journaled, man. Like, journaling never worked for me. I'm the type of person to just sit down, give it thought, and understand the situation. And, that's personal preference again, man. Like, maybe journaling is working for you. So that's why, most of the time I do recommend journaling. But that's how I journal. I just sit down and give it thought, man. Don't hate, man. Don't hate. Adapt, okay? What makes you take interest in crude oil? When futures is behaving bad, bad behavior, not looking good, I might hop on crude oil or gold, for example. Give,
Yeah,
Yeah,
gold's
gold's
price
price
action
action
has
has
been
been
really
really
clean.
clean. Yeah, it's amazing. But I'm not that experienced with crude oil or gold, man. Like my main thing is ES and NQ. Most times I do lose on gold and crude oil. I tend to stay away from it. But whenever I want to do something new, I definitely just hop on and take some trades. Um, I can explain for myself. W source, hell yeah, man. Hope it helped. I'm new to this type of trading and I want to know how do you find levels throughout the day or like how it shows? Yeah, mate. Start here channel and my YouTube videos. Just go there. Exactly what you was asking. Perfect and perfect. And show what you do in the day as a vlog. Yeah, or maybe make a video like that, man. Okay, okay. Day in the life, okay. All right, okay. Maybe I should do that. Hmm. I mean, with NQ DOM, I mainly just look like I keep it very simple in NQ DOM. Like, of course, I look at this, I look at NQ the same way I'm looking at ES, right? But it's more so I look at which is more thicker, just like who's getting more control over the other, and that's really how I look at the NQ DOM. I keep it very simple. I don't really go into the like extremes of the way I trade ES onto NQ, if I, you know what I mean. I don't look at NQ DOM too much, if I'm being honest. Like most times, I just suffer the draw on NQ. I don't really look for the absolute best entry on NQ. Like, doing it on ES is more my thing instead of NQ. But yeah, I sort of just like try pairing it with ES. Like if I see both their markets reacting well off of the area, I just take the trade on both. Mm, it sounds better. I mean, nah, it's the same mic, man. It's the same mic. Again, Dexter, context is personal preference, right? There is no better, right? For others, ES might be better and NQ for others. Like Yash, for example, he uses NQ. He likes that over ES. For me, I like ES more. But I trade both. I like both of them. It's personal preference, honestly, man. Yes, but it's not the statistical data that I showed on my YouTube videos. It's completely separate that I would never share. It's completely private. Mm, I'm only sharing with you guys. I don't mind sharing. I don't go into my personal stuff of what I trade. What's better to learn with Dom? Yes, for sure, 100%. To learn the DOM, it would be 100% better to learn it with ES. I started with ICT. I didn't find any consistency with it. I was clueless with what I was trading. I had no idea what I was doing. I came into order flow and I became Eye of Ra. All seeing. uh, yeah, any more questions, anyone? I'd like to finish the video here.
Yeah, I don't have
Yes.
any more, but I do have to go. I gotta do something for my school real quick.
Okay. Okay.
But thank you so much for the talk. Helped out a
Yeah.
lot.
No, you're welcome, man. Oh, I'm glad to hear that I helped, man. Yeah, you're
Do
welcome,
you
man.
do you like daily? Sorry to cut you.
Oh, say that again.
Do you like host like calls like these on a daily, or like is this like every once in a while?
Every once in a while, but like honestly, man, if you guys want me to do a call, just message me and I'll organize a call. Like Daniel right here, right? He wanted to, ask me a lot of questions, and I simply offered him to do, a call, and I invited everyone here, right, to onto the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like if you guys want calls, literally just message me and like we can organize a date and time, like I did with Daniel here, and we can. Fuck, there's a lot of people here, man. But we can just organize a call, man. I'm down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because like I'm new to this whole order flow stuff. Like I think that I definitely do like it. Um, I like the learning style. Like this, I think this is more like a precise version for trading. I'm currently still like I'm on the ICT, but like trading ICT with all time highs is kind of bun. So
Hmm.
that's why I'm learning order flow
Yeah.
currently.
Another thing for everyone, hop on my Twitter, okay? I promise you, you will learn a lot if you go into my Twitter. Drop a follow as well, man. Engage with the content. But what I'm trying to say is, if you go through my Twitter, I can guarantee you will learn something. Like my Twitter is filled with source, man. Like with my thought process and my perspective on the markets, man. You guys will love what I've got on my Twitter, man. Like definitely get on here, drop a follow, and like stay tuned to my Twitter. 100%. peaks of volume and not like shows or shit. I mean, like for example, right here we diced through it. We completely, falling knife, right? We completely cut through it, and then like that's when I would use the mountain peak within the high volume node. That's when I would use that when I can see that we failed to react off the initial edge. Post more on YouTube. Yeah, man. Like I want to post more on YouTube. I really do, but I just cannot be asked. Oh. Mm. DOM is not used to catch points. No, it is not to use. The DOM is not used to catch 80, 100 point trades. Not at all. Initially the DOM has been, throughout the years has been used to scalp, right? But this is when the volume profile and TPO and all these other things that, you can even ICT, right? I don't know. 15-minute fair value gap CE, right? That's when you like use your context. When you add context with DOM, you are able to catch these massive trades, and you simply use the DOM for these incredible precise executions like this one right here. Like this execution right here, right? I've got my context, I've got my level, and I simply use the DOM to execute, man. That's what that's what the DOM boils down to. Oh my god, Empyrean, my psychology is probably like when I first started. Oh my god, is A1 in here? Please tell me he's in here. He's not in here. Oh my god. This guy right here, he knows, right? This person, he knows how bad my mentality and my psychology was when I started, man. Like it was horrible. Like dear God, it was so bad. Like you have no idea. I struggled with it so much, man. It was incredibly hard to really break through, man. I had like a lot of rock bottoms. Like you guys think that's ooh, sunshine and rainbows, but I promise you, not, man. Like my journey was incredibly bumpy, man. It was incredibly hard for me, man, because I was very stubborn. I hate losing, and that mentality really bred into my trading, and that made me the type of trader I am today. Incredibly precise and like you know not losing too much because it's not too heavy. I mean, it goes against my whole thought process. I don't like losing as a person. That's what it is. But yeah, my psychology was very bad. Why are we live? Yes, we did serious, man. um I want to combine ICT and VP. I mean, yeah, and do as you want, man. Like, do as you wish. Yes, Dexter. I'm glad to hear that you liked it, man. I really am. Of course. If you guys need help, just message me, man. I'm down to help, man. It's free. I don't need your money, man. Just message me. We can like do one-on-one calls if you want, man. I'll help with everything, man. I will help you make money. Just message me. Stay in contact. Mm, what was my worst day, psychology-wise, if that's not too much to ask? I mean, I don't really have a day that I remember like that's the worst day psychology wise. They're all bad. Like they're all equally bad, like yeah, that's all there is to it. I see I had to ask about my psychology on funded accounts as well. Right now I'm always like 2 or 1 days away from payout and then blow the account. Yeah, man, that's like a bad mentality to have, man. Like it can really harm your trading. Like for me, I got lucky, right? I gained control over that mindset of not wanting to lose. And yeah, like I got lucky pretty much, man. Like I gained control over that, my whole thought process of not wanting to lose. But losing is part of trading, man. It's completely fine. You're trading, how can I draw? Your trading is not going to be imbalanced, okay? It's not going to be straight imbalancing. You will have, you know, some balance, auctioning in your journey of trading, right? It's not going to be straight imbalancing. You will have your drawdowns, okay? your journey will be having rock bottoms, and after rock bottoms, if you pull through these rock bottoms, you will carry on imbalancing in your trading journey, right? It's never linear, right? You're going to be having bad moments, man. You just got to push through. Yes, Ant, you're welcome, man. Yes. What helped you fix my psych? I gained edge. Like for me personally, if you guys, oh, that old guy, that um, what's his name? What's his name? He's like the best psychology teacher for trading. He's old, glasses. Sirius, you know him. Surely you know him. What's his name? That Mark Douglas, I think so. No, wait, no. Maybe, man. I don't know. Like he's a bit fat, but he's very good psychology, right? He says psychology is incredibly important in trading, right? And he is right, right? But for me, the way I started making money, my psychology did not get good until my edge got good, right? So for me, when my whole trading journey, right, I always was incredibly good at trading, but my psychology was bad, right? And I slowly kept improving until my whole trading technicals got so good that there was no room for bad psychology, right? My edge simply outperformed my psychology, and then the best of two worlds simply started, yin and yang. I don't know, like they formed together pretty much. My psychology got better as my edge got better, pretty much. But that's different for everyone, you know. Like I'm talking from personal experience how it happened for me. Um, yeah, man, I'm down to help. Just send me a message. I promise you, I'll help you guys. Yes, and thank you, thank you. Stupid question, but I'm struggling to identify ledges, but I understand shells, cells. I watched the video, but I still don't understand. Is there any another easier way you can explain it? Okay. Right. Send me a message like right now. Comment. What do you think a shelf or ledge is like? Like, give me even a picture scenario of what you think it is. Okay. And then I'll go off of that. Yes, of course. I genuinely just want to help, man. I don't need your money. Like, I just want to help. I want to help you guys make money. I see, appreciate the response, of course. Was there a click moment? Never, never. I never had a click. For me, people, all these like gurus and like other people are talking about clicks. I don't believe in a click. There is no click. For me, it was gradual. It was slowly just improving over time. Um, yeah, I never had a click, man. I never had a click. It was gradual, man. Literally, it all just slowly started to click in place. It's experience, man. That's all it really is, man. It's experience. What got you through the break even or losing phase? I just I have passion. I love trading. I have passion for this. Trading is my life. I love it, man. And I persevere. You need to have a grit in this industry, right? And if you have those three, passion, perseverance, and grit, you will pull through and you will make it in this industry. For me, psychology is a big part for sure. I catch myself rage trading sometimes, still with eval since I hate it to be wrong. I mean, you need to understand that if you're doing that, you will never be profitable. You will never gain a cent from the markets. If you do that, you need to gain control. You need to grow up because your future family, your future wife and kids are, they're going to be suffering if you don't make this work, man. You need to grow up and you need to gain control because your family, your siblings, your wife and kids, your future wife and kids, they all rely on you. You need to grow up. Ping pong, hell yeah. Mm. Yes, it is recorded. You are pretty much at the end, man. But it is recorded. Mm. Shells where volume starts to taper off. Ledges, yes, correct. Okay. How can you not find ledges, man? I'm not trying to make fun of you or put you down, but how can you possibly not find ledges? Let me go down. Okay. Okay. Bang. Right. Ledge right here. Ledge right here. I would not use this personally, although you can. honestly, I'll use both. I'll look for reactions on both. Ledge right here, ledge right here. Okay, ledges on both sides right here, here, right, um, here, right, ledge. It's literally just the edges of high volume nodes, man. Like bang right here, here. Let's go to more recent market, right? Like these right here, I guess you can say ledges. I like to call them high volume node extremes, okay? But bang, ledge, 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 right? You make it tight, man. You get the bulk of the volume and use the extreme, okay? Understand? Comprende? Like this is mine on a high volume node. Edge, again, bang, bottom tick, right? Ledge right here, bang, top tick twice. Um, like high volume node, right? Edge, bang, bottom tick. I don't know, man. Like that's how I trade. I've got multiple videos on that, and it works again and again. You can see that in the video. It's not hindsight, you know. But yeah, I hope that helped. Sorry if it's been asked. I missed the first half. Did you record this by any chance? Yes, I have. To be honest, what helped me was when I was on my last. Yes, man, for sure. Yeah. I mean, although no, for me, I was at like zero money in my bank account for a good while. Like, hmm. Although, yeah, for me, it really started to click when everything was going downhill, man. That's when I locked in. But throughout at the start of my trading career, man, I was dead broke, man. Yeah, you have to be careful, man. You got to manage your money carefully, man. And like when I first started, this is horrible, man. But I went straight into prop firms. And you can imagine what happened, man. I blew a lot of accounts, man, going straight into prop firms from when I started. I remember I passed my first account in the first month using ICT, but guess what happened? I blew it the first day on XFA. It was with TopStep as well, man. I'm living in a cave with a computer in it. What you mean, kid? Alright, Steve. I mean, no. Value area high and low, they're built off of percentages and not necessarily ledges. Again, just like watch the videos I've got on YouTube again, please. Just watch them again. Um, yes, they are. Yes, they are happy. What's the best key level for you? I mean, if we're not including my personal stuff like that, I do not share. What I like to share. It would be high volume node extreme. That would be my best key level. Mm, I'm 18. I'm 18. Did I drop out of school after I got a payout? I mean, I don't go to school anymore. I'm not going to go to school. I'm not going to go to college or university. I am done. I am done. I'm completely living off of my trading income right now. Would you say using your own capital makes you learn more efficiently than using prop? I mean, if you got the money to sacrifice as a beginner to trade with your own capital, I would not recommend it either way, man. Like, if you are a beginner, you're going to be saving a lot more money trading with prop firms than you would be with personal accounts. Although, once you gain consistency and you won't really know exactly if you do have edge. But what I'm trying to say is, when you have built consistency and you're operating well within these markets, I'd recommend going into um, personal account ASAP because you'll realize how much money you're putting on the table um, until you get on a personal account. Do I pay taxes? Yes, of course I pay taxes. Of course I do. Of course. Yes, I'm 18, Pax. I'm 18. Made it 18. I wouldn't say I made it just yet. I'd say I'd made it when I've got a family of my own. That's when I made it. When I'm taking care of them, that is when I made it. Not now. This is just the beginning. Bro sound like he has a wife and two kids. Is that a good thing? how would I grow my wealth after making money from props? Like grow it, how do you or what have you done? What I personally done is, I mean, my main source of income is literally trading, right? So I reinvest, like I leave myself zero money pretty much, right? Like on a month to month basis, I leave myself barely any money. A lot of the money goes into my personal account and I just keep it there. I don't really need the money at the moment. I don't care to buy anything. All of my income goes into my personal account and it's just compounding, right? I like the size. I like to enter 10 contracts, 15 or whatever, right? And then once we get out of all-time highs, I'm going to be slamming size in these trades, man. And you will see big money. You will see big P&Ls after we get out of all-time highs. Because at the moment, I don't really want to trade my personal account at all-time highs. I'd rather stick with prop firms at the moment and just like, forward all the profits into my personal account. And then when I am, when we are completely out of all-time highs, I will be back onto my personal account full-time. 18 years in trading. Of course, man. Since birth. Can you explain what you mean by edge, like city square? Do you honestly, man? Look, ask ChatGPT, man. It will explain better to you, man. Or like go on YouTube, like yes, of course, of course, of course. I pay taxes. What can I say to myself? I have an edge in the market. Congratulations. What do you mean? What can I say to myself? What? First payout, I spent half of it on clothes, and it was the biggest. Oh my god! Let me tell you about my first payout, right? Well, like first few, right? So like my when I first started making money, my first month I made 5k, right? And guess where that 5k went? Completely gone, right? I spent half of it buying five top sub accounts and paying for the XFAs and blowing it that same week. Buying just a bunch of random stuff that I do not need, like monitors or clothes or food. Oh my god, I spent so much money on food, man. You have no idea. I spent so much money on food. But what I'm trying to say is, man, when you guys get your first payouts on and you're first starting to gain consistency and like pulling profits, save it. Like I know you want to spend it, of course. Like I take 20% of what you earn and then use that to spend, man. Because like the worst thing that you can possibly do to yourself is spend all that money, which I did, and be back at zero, man. It's a horrible feeling, man. And do not do that. Learn from me. Jesus Christ, I'm yakking so hard. Oh, okay. Is it a good idea to cash out first payout and do money spread? Do as you wish, man. I personally, none of my friends, like people around me, they do not know that I trade. They don't even know that I'm making money. It's completely secret, I don't tell anyone, you know. Like a lot of my friends don't even know that I trade. Only like four friends of mine know that I trade. The rest, they have no clue. Being rich is different for everyone, for sure, for sure. Tear entered. That means people are closing. Look, it's Friday. Let me explain why this happened right here, okay? It is Friday and it is end of day, right? So look, I don't have my motorwave connected right now. I've disconnected, but it is end of day and these large institutions, right? It's Friday. They are closing the trades. They are exiting out of the positions, and that is why you're seeing these numbers, right? They're exiting out using via market orders. People that were long, they're exiting out. People that were shorts, they're closing their trades pretty much, right? And as you know, on options, the contracts over there expire via Fridays. They expire on Fridays most of the time. That's why you see these numbers. People are closing the trades, institutions and banks. And yeah, oh my god, like I love, honestly, if you guys go on your charts right now, like this is source right here, right? Every Friday at the end of day, it like practically almost always shorts, man. You can make so much money doing this. I do this all the time. I don't really reveal this to anyone, but this is good that I'm, saying that the oh my all right. I probably should not say this, but on Fridays at end of day, you can see that prices going to sell off, and you can even build a model around it, and you can make easy money, man. Fridays end of day sell off, take it, free source right there. You can build a mod around it. All in on red, of course. Do you take trade even if it's not on your level? Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I purely take trades off of Dom. Yes, of course, nobody knows, man. Nobody knows. I mean, obviously it's not every single time, right? But most Fridays at end of day, you will see that price sells off. You can even put it into like machine learning or whatever, and like download like 1 year's of worth of data, and you will see it happening like 60%, no, 60, I think it was 64% of the time last time I done it. I don't know, I've got the screenshot somewhere, but I'm not gonna show you guys. But oftentimes it does sell off. Do you have a video on your YouTube on what you're looking for to trade, like your Twitter, man? Twitter. Go on my Twitter. All of you, go on my Twitter, man. It's the same as my TikTok username. You can see my thought process exactly over there. Go onto my Twitter. Okay, here's
What's good, Dom?
What's up, man? Who's this?
Hard my game.
Oh, what's up, Parma? Can we try this? Let's go for it. So you are not letting anyone into the? Of course not. Yeah, of course not. I'm not letting into anyone. I mean, the statistical data in this server I do not use anymore. I've got my own that I built with my own team. That is completely private. It will not be shared with the public at all. Like the thing, the SD in this server, it was like trial, man. It was like practice, pretty much. What I have now will not be revealed. Make everyone short so we can get filled and long. Alright, here. Use you guys as liquidity. Ban him. Yep. No, I don't even have Delta on my DOM. And I don't really care about Delta, man. I can see what's happening on DOM. I don't care. I really don't care about Delta. It's purely cosmetic for me, man. What do you mean? Do I explain myself? You don't say it to us somewhere. What do you mean? Elaborate what you're asking. Like again, Twitter, man. Like you can go on my Twitter, you can see what I'm trading, my levels. I give you my full process. Steve, 3 months. 3 months. But it's different for everyone. Yes, I was profitable since birth, man. My name is Dom. Like I'm built for this, man. This is my fate, man. I'm meant for the Dom. Do you only trade off of your older flow or also some other quant stuff? I trade, statistical data and order flow. I pair them both. Like you said, you don't share some stuff that you trade with. Oh no, of course not. If I don't share stuff that I trade with, I'm not gonna explain about it, am I? Yes, I was born with a laptop and dumb chart, man. But yeah, man, this is pretty much the end of the video. Don't think we're just yapping right now, man. I'm gonna end the video right here. Fits the code. So have my first payout on wires untouched, very good. Yes, I can and will go better otherwise. Yes, very good, man. Alright. Oh, Pax, mate, you have not, like, I put so much screen time into this, man. Like, there were, like, the first half of my time learning order flow, I would literally, like, at the time I did go to school, but I would literally, like, skip classes and go, like, into, like, a cafe and stare at the chart until, like, evening, man. Like, or go home when my parents are not home and literally just stare at the charts all day, man. I would put so much screen time into this, man, into the DOM. That's how I've built this precision with the DOM. Just want to say thank you for the free ball knowledge. You're a great guy. Thank you, Freak Bob, man. Oh yeah. Will this be posted on YouTube? Yes, it will. I sound so tough and nonchalant. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Do you usually limit or market orders? I never limit. I always market orders. Always. Unless if it's very volatile and like the spread is like big, then I would limit. But honestly, like 90% of the time, I market order. Yes, man. Yes, I would literally just like at the start of my journey, man. Like I would just sit on the charts, man, and like have the charts and the DOM, the numbers imprinted into my brain, man.
Uh,
Mm. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. I really do hope you guys learned something and you gained something from this server call. I hope you guys enjoyed. The video will be dropping, I don't know, ASAP. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.